Hi, this is Michael, VK5ZEA from Port Lincoln in South Australia. A quick update video for you showing the progress I've made on my transportable D-Star HotSpot project. This is the case that it's all going to go into. It's a Pelican 1200 case. I picked the stylish desert tan colour. Some people love it, some people hate it. I don't mind it at all, so that's what I'm stuck with. Now I'll turn the camera around and open up the case and show you the inside. This is a rough layout of how things are going to be installed in the case. I will pull this tray out in a little bit, but for now I'll leave it there. In here you can see the MikroTik RB751U router has been mounted onto the base plate. On top of that is the Raspberry Pi, and that's probably the configuration it's going to sit when it gets into its case, is about there, and probably use Velcro to hold it on top of the router. Just received today some micro USB right angle cables, which are going to be for power. The network cable fits very nicely in there. This is the power supply I'm going to use. It's a universal in 9 to 38 volts, 9 to 36 volts, 5 volts out at 1.6 amps, and I'm going to put that into a little die cast box for the 5 volt requirement for the Raspberry Pi, and the USB hub, which is under here. I've made this little platform for the DVAP, and I've got a DV dongle here as well. I'm not going to be using a DV dongle, but I might be getting a 70cm DVAP to have a dual band hotspot, 2 meters and 70 centimeters. I will probably flip the lid around so they read correctly. I haven't done that yet. So they're on 60mm spaces above the bottom of the base plate. It gives a bit of room underneath for the hub, and the box for the power supply will sort of fit in this general area here. I'm also planning on adding some external SMA to SMA female adapters, and they will probably be mounted in the case here. So I can operate it with the lid closed. Now I probably won't be doing that very much, because I think the heat generated in here will basically rule out running it for extended periods with the case closed. I think it'll just get too hot. This is the USB 3G device, and that is going to be that. I've got another that plugs into the side here, but I've got another USB right angle adapter coming in there, and that will end up being and mounted roughly about there. I'm going to mount the socket up here, so that'll float there, so I can easily get at it and pull it out, because I use this with my laptop computer as well. And I'm thinking about putting a Anderson power pole on the power supply box, and also possibly one in the side of the case here, once again for operating it with the case closed. Still not 100% convinced about that, but we'll see how much heat generated from all of this equipment when it's in the case and it's all shut up. And now the reason, once again, I went for the separate router is that I wanted to be able to have not too much interaction with the software on the Raspberry Pi. So at the moment, if I want to run this, say I'm running this at home, I can just unplug this network connector here, plug it straight into my network home, and it works fine. I can use the 3G connection that the router provides for other devices. I can plug into the Ethernet, or this has a built-in Wi-Fi as well, a 1-watt Wi-Fi adapter, so I can use it with my laptop or my phone or my little Android tablet as well. Yeah, so the USB hub is going to be sitting on a little, you can't really see it here, but it's a little bit of like switchboard material, like a fiberglass material. That's just to raise it up a little bit. And of course the dongles, they'll probably be attached with Velcro on there as well. And I'm deciding whether I'm going to leave the aluminium as natural or get it powder coated, but we'll see how that goes. Now I'll show you how this base plate mounts. We'll unplug the Raspberry Pi, and that comes out there. I'll get the power supply. Oh, this is the antenna I'll be using as well. Forgot about that. It's a diamond antenna, one of these long flexible whips, and that'll mount on the DVAP dongle and provide a bit better range than the little tiny dummy load that comes with the DVAP dongle. And that can live in the case quite happily, being nice and flexible as it is. Now this whole plate does come out. It just slides out, and the way it's being mounted, there's 4 holes in the bottom of the case, which are in the feet of the case. So if I flip it over, you can see that. You can see the 4 feet, there's 4 holes. And the way I've done this is using nutserts. And you may have seen these devices. Here's one here. I use these quite a bit, and they're an expanding device. You drill a hole, that goes into it, and you put a special gun in there which compresses it, and then it sort of expands and fills up the hole and bites in, and it forms a nice threaded insert into the sheet metal. So there's 4 of them in here as well, and they line up with those holes in the bottom. And they also raise this off the bottom a bit, so I can you can see the spaces there with the screws, and that allows me to raise this up. And what I've done is I've shaved the corners of the base plate with a file to match the curve in the bottom of the case, and that's worked out very neat and nice, and notched out the base plate to correspond with the little standoffs that are in the case here for the Pelican panel assembly. I think they have a panel that mounts in here as well, and that rests on those little indentations or raised parts of the case. And the router is affixed with a couple of 4mm bolts into the mounting screw holes on here on the router case itself, and that holds very nicely in there, and it slips in very nicely, and everything will mount with either Velcro or some sort of bracketing to hold all that into place. And so it's a work in progress. It's getting there. I'm still waiting on some mini USB right angle leads for the DVAP. Just makes mounting here a little bit better. I've got some right angle ones so that the cable will exit that way rather than that way, and that then we'll get some short ones of them coming, I think about 4 inches long, 100mm, and they will just go straight down into the USB hub, which will sit under this plate. And at this stage just a single band, 2 meters, but there, like I said, there's space here for a 70cm DVAP if I want to make a dual band hotspot, which the G4 KLX software can certainly provide. So there you go, and it's all coming together slowly and surely, and I can't wait to get this thing going. If you have any questions, give me a call, or send me an email, or contact me via YouTube, and I'll do my best to help you out. This is Michael, VK5ZEA, 7 3s for now, and I'll talk to you again soon.